coming at you with like a full, a full face of makeup, which I haven't done in a while. I'm also like not pleased with it, but I wanted to use my little story palette. I've had this forever and it's not my favorite, to be honest, but it's fine. It's just not my favorite palette to use. It's not super easy to blend, and the colors just like greens aren't really my thing, okay? But I had to for, of course, this first leg where we had to read green books because we're in Oz, or at least we're traveling to Oz. I've now made it to Oz based on this review I'm about to give. But I really wanted to use not only green because green, but this palette because it's Robin Hood inspired, which I thought was fun because the book I read for the green cover prompt was Not for the Faint of Heart by Lexi. Okay, it's Lex Croucher. I was close. But this is a Robin Hood retelling, but it's a historical and sapphic. Not like super duper historical in the sense of like everything is accurate, but like a comical, fun read with a Robin Hood twist, but it's sapphic. And I didn't love this as much as I wanted to. I read last year for, I also think, The Amazing Readathon. Gwen and Art Are Not in Love, and I really enjoyed that one. It's a fake dating, like two people put into an arranged marriage for status and whatever, and they're both queer, and they're both like, this isn't really for me, this isn't quite what I want, and I really enjoyed that one. I thought it was a lot more charming and funny, whereas Not for the Faint of Heart, just the characters did not work for me. We're following one girl who is an apprentice to a healer. She's orphaned, she's got the tragic backstory, and she is just like a classic gal, but she's like the sunshine, if you will. And then we have the other female protagonist, and she is granddaughter of Robin Hood himself, and she's with her merry band of characters, and the side characters were significantly more interesting than our main characters themselves. I don't know, there was just something about them that didn't work for me. They weren't very interesting to follow. Like, I did not care at all about anything. Basically, they kidnap who they think is like the main healer because they think that she's assisting the king, and the king obviously bad because Robin Hood, and it just didn't feel like there was a lot of nuance or conversations happening. There didn't feel like a point to everything. It just really felt like I was reading historical retelling of Robin Hood, but it wasn't like in a fun and interesting way. I don't know how else to like explain it or describe it. The first 50% of this book is so slow. You're just like, I get the point. Like, you're getting to know the characters and you're trying to like blend this found family and have like the grumpy sunshine dynamics, and it just didn't work for me. It was so slow and just them basically traveling, but it wasn't fascinating. I wasn't interested. It was boring. And once it starts picking up after the halfway mark, I didn't care. It's like, these characters could die, and it's not that like okay, like a lot, especially towards the end, happens, and it's very action-packed and adventurous and honestly like dangerous and sort of scary, and I was like, cool. Like, oh, what a shame. Like, I just did not have any type of connection towards anyone about anything. I was just like, yeah, it's a book. I read a book. I definitely think that this one might work for others, but I don't think it's gonna hit nearly as good compared to Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. I think that one just like stands out in comparison, and this one is just unfortunately like, like it didn't work, and I'm a little bummed about it, but like I don't know how else to explain it. It's just the merry men don't feel like they're following the same morals, and again, like, it's just not really saying anything, and I don't know, I'm bummed about it. It sucks. It's not, it just wasn't for me, unfortunately. So hopefully, if it's something that sounds interesting to you, just like having a queer Robin Hood retelling that's historical with a lot of like quirky, humorous moments, it might work better for you and other readers, but I just didn't care. It doesn't work for me. I'm really bummed about it though. Oh well, at least now I can start sightseeing and move on. I'm going to be reading for sightseeing The Never List. I don't remember who it's by, but Brie gave it 5 stars. I have seen like pretty mixed reviews about it. Some people really like it, some people don't. I know it's a why choose, so I'm going to start that and see kind of like where we go from there. I don't know how, like, based on like the timing, I don't know how many books I'll read in between each leg, but yeah, The Never List is next on my list. So that's fun. Did I say? Yeah, Never List. Yeah, The Never List is next on my list. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, yeah. Hello, I just wanted to check in with you guys because off screen, I finished listening to This Vicious Dream by Anastasia Stark. I also have a canker sore on the side of my tongue, so I'm gonna make this short and quick. But if I have a lisp, that's why, because it's pain. But I didn't want to forget to do this. So basically, I finished this vicious dream, and going into it, I didn't realize it was kind of not quite a continuation, but still like a continuation of the Kingdom of Lies, which is a 4-book series, romantic series following Priska and a guy. And basically, this is a companion series, which is now the Kingdom of Dreams. No, Kingdom of Death. And so this is the first book in that one. It's following a character that we saw and her journey. It deals with a trope that I don't typically love. I don't really like the amnesia trope. It's not one that I find super fulfilling in a story, but I didn't hate it in this one. But I do think overall this was just like an okay story. We are following our main girl, Meryl? No. Morrow? Medina. And she basically has been like locked away, trapped, and because she's the only one that knows the location of this really powerful grimoire. And, you know, she has been tortured, she's got a lot of trauma she's dealing with, which I did appreciate, I guess, what she was going through. And then she gets slightly kidnapped / unhappy to be partnering with this man, Calician. They go on an adventure, a journey to find this grimoire and maybe fall in love along the way. Or maybe not. Who knows? I overall didn't love this as much as I loved the last series. It felt very much like a Sleeping Beauty retelling, which I did actually like and enjoyed. But I don't know. I like the narrators a lot. I think that they did good performances and I enjoyed their voices, but I just didn't really care so much about what was happening in the story itself. Like, never was I really worried about the stakes, and I did enjoy the side characters more than anything, but it wasn't like a super captivating story that I was like really hooked into. I will probably continue with the series, but it's one of those books that I would absolutely have to reread because I've basically forgotten everything. Like, it was just such a mid 3-star romantasy. I think that the first series had a lot more going on, and it's been a whole year since I read it, and I binged those books. So maybe when the series is complete and out, not fresh and new, I might revisit and just like binge the series like I did the last time, and maybe it will go better for me. I did like the couple. I think they made sense. They were cute. They had a lot of good tropey moments that I liked, but yeah, it's not memorable at all. It's not one that's really going to stick with me, but I think that's okay. I think it's fine. I'm happy that I read it. I forgot to mention, I read this because it's this vicious dream, and I think vicious is a pretty violent word at times. I was originally going to read You Are Fatally Invited, which I am still in the middle of and still plan to finish reading, but I knew that I was not going to finish it in time, so I wanted just an audiobook that I could pop in so I could finish it during the leg and work on like sightseeing stuff. So that's what I did. That's what I worked on. I will be finishing You Are Fatally Invited. I think it's a great setup so far. And then there was another one. Oh, I Was a Teenage Slasher was the other option I had for violent word in the title. So I'm still hoping to read all of these this month. We'll see if I get to them, but they are in the back of my noggin of things to get to. But yeah, that's my little mini review of this vicious dream. 3 stars. It was fine. It was an okay story. Nothing crazy, nothing revolutionary. I'm gonna go and not talk for the rest of the next 3 days. Goodbye. Okay. Hi. So, it was supposed to be the Face Off weekend, this weekend, And I am on not this current leg, but the last leg still, because I need to finish. God, this is embarrassing. I really need to finish The Shadow of the Night. I have the audiobook. I have the ebook because I am in my Kindle era, just like reading. This is a little bit easier for me than having to hold like a whole book right now. I don't know what it is, but I need to finish The Shadow of the Night. And oh, we were talking about the Face Off weekend, right? Back up. It's the Face Off weekend, and the Face Off weekend, it has a board game this time. I rolled. I was gonna read something, read a fantasy for the first thing, and I technically did that, but it's not a book that I'm vlogging, so yeah, mess. Anyway. The Face Off weekend, unfortunately, landed on a very important weekend in terms of world events. So, unfortunately, I was doom scrolling all Friday night. I was doom scrolling most of Saturday if I wasn't just like a vegetable on the couch. We had no caffeine in the house. I didn't want to leave and spend money. So I had a major headache throughout the whole day because I'm detoxing from caffeine apparently, which is a problem all on its own. But the big thing was it was no King's Day, and the protests were happening, and there was an incident in Minnesota with politicians, and I was just like a little too invested in everything going on. It was just like bouncing back and forth between doom scrolling on Instagram and like watching streams of the protests and the news things that were happening. It was just kind of like a lot, and so sitting down to like read everything was just not gonna happen for me, unfortunately. So here we are. I haven't read all weekend. I've barely been finishing books. I don't know if it's burnout from Escape the Readathon in May, or if it's just like I'm not picking up books that I really love right now and I'm just not getting those feelings. I'm not sure what it is exactly. I've been trying to read Shadow of the Night literally since I bought this for Christmas, and I've been reading it since January, like early January. It's been months. I was stuck on like 78 pages in for so long. I'm now up to chapter 22, like in the middle of it. I was so tired last night. I read a little tiny bit, but I was like, I gotta pass out. But I don't know. I loved To Kill a Shadow so much. It is one of my favorite like setups. It's incredibly similar to other books that I've also given 5 stars, Blood and Steel, as well as The Empire of Dreams by Carson Ray. All 3 of these have the exact same setup. They're very similar. There's differences still that make them unique. I would say that To Kill Shadow is more similar to Empire of the Dreams in terms of like the twists and everything, but it has a lot of that found family, girl going to like a militant type training warrior school where there's a lot of training montages. You've got this found family of the outcasts coming together, and then you've of course got the romance. And I love the first book so much. I really enjoyed the world as well because this is all set in like the Mistlands. It's the Mistland series, and basically like there's dark mists that you can't really walk into, and it's really bad, but like the whole point of the warriors is the king sent them out to go and obtain like this artifact because they're trying to get rid of the mist. It's the big thing. Where we leave off was, although I knew the twist simply because of prior books that I've read, I love the twist. I loved the setting. I loved the characters so much. The romance was great. That was a 5-star book for me. This one now, that we are following the aftermath of the events at the end. We're following Kiara and Jude. It goes by Maddox though, because I think Jude is a silly name. Sorry to any Judes, that was so mean of me. I just can't not think of Jude and Carden, you know? Like, it's a unique name that's special just for that one series. Them being separate for so much of, like, they're not even, like, the first 100 pages, they're not together, but they have a link in some way, magically, and so we get some interactions of them still together, and I really enjoy the friendships in this, but we're barely seeing that. We're on a quest right now, and I just don't fucking care. I don't have any attachments to what's going on in this book or these characters or the path that they're going on, which is a real bummer because I love the first one so much, and I'm having the worst time, specifically in duologies, with the conclusion. They've all been so bad this year, and I'm really upset about it, and I don't know what to do. Today, it's Sunday, Austin will be building our fence outside, and so he will be busy all day. And our game night got postponed to next weekend, so it's reading day. I have to finish one book because the audiobook will be due soon, but you guys won't see that in this video. It's for a different video. And then this is like the big thing that I would really like to finish. I would like to finish both today. That's the big goal. I have 7 hours and 48 minutes, but I'm listening at 2.7 speed. So whatever that math is, it's like over 2 hours, but less than 3. You know, that's my math. So I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna keep reading it on my Kindle because it feels a little bit faster and I feel like I'm getting more done. I'm gonna try my darndest to stay off Instagram today and just like avoid doom scrolling. It's really hard to not like stay up to date with everything going on and like not, you know, be in the know of things. Yeah, things are wild. World is crazy. I hope everybody was staying safe and protected by the sun and drinking water and doing all the good things for themselves while out at the protests. I truly love and appreciate all of you. I still feel like the itch to like be checking YouTube constantly to see like updates that are going on, or to go on Instagram and see all the updates going on. I was talking to Eliza a little bit about it this morning, and I'm just like trying to get back into booktube, just film, just read, just like do the things that I need to do, but also you know. So that's kind of where I'm at. This has been a really long clip of me just saying that the world is stressing me out and I really need to read. So that's my plan. I'm gonna like sit my little butt on this couch literally all day. So if you see an update and you're like, girl, why don't you ever move? It's just because it's the most comfortable spot in the house. It's the living room. This is where I live. What can I say? But my big goal, finish this 11 a.m. So I need to finish this by 3. I'll have lunch. Austin will hopefully be bringing me back caffeine. I will finish this by 3, and then I can move on to the next book that I need to read and just like prioritize the things that I need to prioritize, because I have a really big project that I'm working on, and I think I'm the most behind out of everybody in the project. So that's really fun. I gotta do stuff. So I have a lot to do. I keep rambling. I'm talking in circles. I gotta go. I will check in with you guys either when I have more thoughts, which I'm halfway through this and I have no thoughts except for disappointment and sadness. So I will probably just check in when it is complete so you guys know that I'm done with it. It doesn't matter. No more tangents. I'm going. Okay, so I've made more progress. Not a lot, to be honest, but kind of figured at the very least I could check in with you guys, because I'm 60% in now, which is progress. Like, I did read... Why did I decide to do math? That was such a bad idea. Like 16%. I've made further progress, but there's a few things about this that isn't fully working for me. Does it need to be dual POV? Not sure. It's very, like, him, her, him, her, him, her, very 50-50 split. I think I prefer, I hate to say it, slightly longer chapters if we're going to be in this format, or I would rather just have her chapters and then when it's needed, his chapters to kind of like substantiate their separation. But when they're together and it's back and forth, it's like, I just don't care. I don't like the narrator for Jude, which doesn't help. I just don't care for his voice. My biggest complaint with this is that I simply just, my mind is drifting often. Like, you know, when you're like, I'm gonna go meditate, and then you noticed your minds are slipping and you have to like pull your thoughts back in to like focus on your breathing. It's literally it's as if I'm meditating. It's the same exact thing. Like, I'm reading a third into the page, I start thinking about, oh, well, that was a spicy chapter. Oh, I should start working on this like other thing that I've been doing that I kind of forgot about doing. And suddenly I'm thinking about stuff I haven't thought about in months. And it's really unfortunate, especially like the love confession and like, oh, I feel so deeply for you. Like let's have an intimate moment. Like, this is YA. And definitely, compared to YA, it's really a conversation that I think I need to like dive into for a video at some point. But the conversation of intimate moments in YA versus new adult versus adult, obviously the last two are more combined, but it still has a bit of a different feel. Having intimate moments in a young adult, which is for teens, and your characters are usually still like new adult, like they're 18, 19, whatever. And so like it's for a teenage audience, but they're much older teenagers. And so when you have intimate moments like these, there's a fine line of like how far are you gonna go. This one I think does okay. I think it lasts a little bit too long because it's like confessing their love for each other and then like they're getting it on, and it dragged so much that I was like, get over it. Like, move on. Which is sad. That's not what's supposed to happen in those moments. You're supposed to feel something for the characters being together and having these times and moments together. It's supposed to mean something. It doesn't. But there was definitely moments where I was like, how far is this gonna go? Are they about to like get like too much? But I think it skirts the line. I think too spice peppers type of moment where it's like definitely, like, clothes are coming off. They're talking a little bit about it, but there is no mentions of specific body parts. Nothing is, like, too honest. It's mostly, like, feelings about the moment. Like, oh, I kissed him and he tastes like sin and, like, freedom and sin, which I'm normally fine with, but in this book, for whatever reason, like, the angst of it all, it's just, like, a little much. But I think that it focuses more on, like, how they're feeling in the moment for each other and how it's bringing them closer together, rather than, like, smut in a romance novels where you're like, I hate all the vocabulary. Like, it's a bit different. It's not bad. It's just, like, I'm just so, like, my mind is just drifting a lot. So I have 5 hours, 49 minutes at 2. I think I'm going to bump it up. I know that I shouldn't speed this up, but I do want it to kind of end. So I think I'm going to jump up to 2.8 speed. Because I'm reading along, I'll probably be able to keep up. The narrators just, like, are talking fast than usual. Like, usually when I'm reading along with a book, I'm at 3 times speed. Usually when I'm just listening on my own, it's 2.75 speed, just so that I can, you know, lock in a little bit more. If it's a book that I really want to focus on, 2.5. We're going to lock in. Bump up the speed a little bit just so I can end this a bit sooner. We are on track. It's only 1 p.m. So I have 2 hours to finish this. I've got less than 2 hours, about 2 hours left, so I think I can do it. I just want it to be done. Like, I just don't care about anything that's going to happen. Should I just DNF it? Absolutely. But I have the physical book. I'm trying to read more books off of my shelf. And because I love the first book so much, it's like, I really don't want to DNF, even though I've been spending 6 months reading this book. I just need to finish it, and I will feel better. I'm not a big DNFer. I know when to cut my ties on, like, books that I'm just super not feeling. Like, I've DNF'd 3 books this year for sure. I think, like, 3, like, pretty hard DNFs. I don't think I'm going to return to those ones. I soft DNF a lot more than I let on, but I usually just don't talk about them. But I don't DNF a whole lot. And so I don't really want to DNF a book series that I think I'm going to love, or a book that I did love in the sequel. Like, you know, that's where we're at. But I'm going to keep reading, chugging along, and hopefully I will have better thoughts in the last 40%. Like, I really enjoyed being in the God's Temple, and that was kind of short-lived, and I think the romance is just taking a little bit too much of the focus. Like, they're on this big journey and quest, and I don't feel like we're focusing enough on the danger that's happening, because whenever dangerous things happen, they're like, oh, we're in love, but we can't touch. It's like, somebody might kill you, though. Like, this is not the time, or when they have their little sexy time. Like, this is the one time you're away from the group, sure, but, like, anybody could, like, pop up at any moment. Like, you're not safe. So it just, like, feels like a weird timing situation. So I don't know. Hopefully now that they're not together anymore. It's crazy how this works. Hopefully now that they're, like, separated again, I can enjoy having both perspectives and, like, see where we go. But I'm really enjoying, like, God Temple setting. That's it. That's all I have to say. I truly am just, like, checking in with you guys and talking because I don't want to read it. And so I'm, like, using you as my procrastinating. So I'm going to go. We're going to read. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
We hope you have enjoyed this production of To Shatter the Night by Catherine Quinn. This book was read for you by Gideon Emery and Maura Club.
I've done it. Okay, it's 3:13. So I did technically, for the most part, do well. You guys are so crooked. I'm so sorry. Finish this. Oh my goodness. It is 3:30. No, it's 3:15. Good lord. Finally, officially finished this dang book. I'm pretty sure this was the conclusion and the series is done. I'm pretty sure it was just a duology. There were a few moments where it felt like they could continue their journey and quest with the new things that have happened and, like, a slight mention of a gem. And this just says, welcome back to the Mist in the astonishing sequel. So, like, I'm pretty sure this is the conclusion, but there is that chance that it's not. And if it's not, I don't know if I'll continue. I don't know how much of this book was not good in comparison to the first versus how much of it is me, you know? Like, I don't know if it's burnout. I don't know if it's just I'm not captivated by the things that I'm reading, or if it's well and truly my attention span. A lot has been going on in the world. It's been hard to, like, sit down and just, like, dive into a book and, like, feel at ease and, like, focused. So there's a very strong chance that it's me, but because I started this in January and I just never had a desire to pick it up and want to read it, I think it is a mix of this book and me, because I've been able to finish a lot of books this year. I've read over 100, which is crazy. So I've read a lot of things this year, and this has been an issue. So I I think I have 5 books on my current reads shelf. So I have 5. I'm working on my current reads. I'm trying to get them down. This one has been on there since January. The next one I have is Onyx Storm, which has been here since, like, what, February? His Mortal Demise has been here since March. And then I have You're Fatally Invited, which I just started, I want to say the beginning of this month. And then I have Eclipse of the Crown, which again I started this month. So 3 of these books are continuing in series that I have just been sitting on for months. What's up with that? Why? I don't know what's wrong with series this year. Like, is it me? Am I the problem? I can't tell anymore. This was fine. I have all of the same complaints that I had when we were first talking initially. It was just like, okay, like, I enjoyed the characters. I don't know if every character needed their own romance plot. I don't know if that was necessary. As much as I love the side characters in these books, specifically Jake, I wish that we got more of the side characters and got to know them better. There was a really, I don't want to spoil too much, but there was an impactful scene with one of the characters, and I did not feel any emotion because I barely knew them. I knew their traumatic backstory and, like, what got them to now, but I don't know anything else about them. And I felt that way kind of with everybody. Like, the only reason I felt anything towards Jake is because Jake was in the first book. But all the new characters that we got together with, I was like, okay, and, like, they just did not have enough going on with them. There was not enough, like, small interactions. Again, this really is revolved around Jude and Kiara and their romance together, which I get it. It is a romantasy for young adults, so, like, that is the point in a way, but, like, what do you mean? There's so much more going on. Like, we're on this great quest, and it just, the pacing of it was just off because of that. Like, the middle dragged. I was so bored most of the time. Like, the action scenes were great, but I never felt on the edge of my seat. I never felt like anything drastic was really going to happen. It kind of just felt like we were hitting some plot beats, that we had some action, so that we can get back to the romance. It never felt like we were really diving into the world and the richness of the plot. It just was like, how can we get back to them kissing? How can we get back to them, like, missing each other? Like, there was just, it just constantly felt like we were moving the goalpost for the characters to be together romantically. And I was like, over it. I was over it. So she's been read. I done it. I'm over it. If this does end up becoming a trilogy, I don't know if I'm gonna read it. With that said, I do think I'll pick up more from this author. Catherine Quinn has one, I believe, completed trilogy. And then they have an August release, 2025, and then they have a 2026 release. So depending on the synopsis of those, I might check either or both out. Because again, I really love the first book. And I don't think the writing is bad. I just think that this book on its own fell flat with all of my issues. I think that she can write a good book, seeing as I gave To Kill a Shadow 5 stars. So I think that it's doable. I just don't know. I don't know. I will, I think, check out, I think it's Starfall is the August release. Has a really cool cover. The 2026 release has less of a cool cover, so I don't know what that one's about. I haven't read the synopsises, though. So I'm going to check those 2 out. We'll see how they go. But I am disappointed. I am a little bit bummed out by this one, but I'm also happy to just, like, be done with it, you know? So, woohoo. We've done that. We've completed it. So, technically that was for leg 4, right? And now we're on leg 5, and I'm sure stuff has happened this weekend. I've been so off Discord. I have not even turned my computer on once, like, have not done any of the things. So I think we're still on leg 5 because Face Off was happening, and usually there's not, like, a new leg during that just because we're focused on a different section. Face Off ended at like 9 this morning, so it's been done. But yeah, now I can focus on my leg 5, which leg 5 is cold, chilling covers. I plan to read Nature of Frost by Just Akato. And this is the sequel to Omen of Ice, which, thank God, people on Goodreads have given, like, hey, just so you're, like, caught up for the next book, here's, like, what happened, here's what's going on, prepared me for the next, because I kind of forgot about the end. I'm really good at remembering setups of books and how to, like, pitch them to people, but I don't always remember the conclusion, so I need to get better about my notes with that. But I really want to continue. I believe it's just a duology, which, as we've talked about in this video, has not been going well for me, so it is, you know, hit or miss if this will be the worst decision of my life or not. Nature of Frost by Just Accardo. It's got not like a gigantic following. Not a lot of people have really read it. I think the people who have primarily read it is because of Owl Crate. And I actually really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It definitely reads like a YA, but I liked the twists on everything, like kind of like a gender bend. So we have a female bodyguard and a male prince, which I really enjoyed. And honestly, there's not like a whole lot more set up. Like, she's doing this out of obligation to the druids and like the witches, but also they've kind of been losing their magic, and so there's like that political background happening. And then we have this prince who is so broody and so angsty, but he is super important to the plot of what's going on. They end up going on a quest and running away a little bit, and she's just, there to keep him safe. He keeps her safe. They fall, I guess, kind of in love. I'm gonna check this out. I don't know when, though, to be honest. Since there is no audiobook, it's like harder for me to like want to pick it up, but I think this will be like my bedtime read. I don't know when this vlog's ending. I haven't really planned. I was gonna do like Face Off separate, but then like that didn't really happen, so now it's like I might extend this one for the next leg, but also I don't think I'm gonna be caught up. So you will either see me read this book with you guys, and this will be out Thursday, or I won't finish reading this because I'm a slow reader, or I don't prioritize it enough and I get behind on Tar, which would be sad, and this video ends here. Who knows? So this is the end. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry this was chaotic. If you made it to the end of the video, you can put a little butterfly in the comments. I hope that this was a decent... I don't think this video was very good at all. I think it's a hot mess because this month's been chaotic. What can I say? So thanks for watching if you did. Thanks for making it to the end if you really did, because you're a real one. Bye.